Guys, I already lost my coffee. What in tarnation? So it's early Saturday morning. The dogs are already yelling. Got a couple little brown dog coffee, and it already seems like we've got more to do today than we have day to do it. So let's get the hell after it. If you're not familiar, this is our 1973 G20 murder van. Purchased in California, driven back, bought it sight unseen, had a blast in it. Over the summer, we swapped motors and it's been doing great. But today, we have an issue. So if you guys buy your power steering fluid by the gallon, just like I do, you might have some old Chevys around. So every one of these things that I have leaks power steering fluid. Can't really be mad about it because these pumps have been in service for over 30 or 40 years. They still work, you just gotta keep them full. But sometimes they really give it up. You can also identify it on the ground because you have your main oil and transmission leaks here, and this one off to the right, that one, and that one, and that one, and that one. Well, those are power steering pump leaks because they're... This one, however, is just giving it straight up. I can fill the thing, drive it about 20 miles to work, and then let it sit at work, and it just watches it. It's like a faucet. Time I'm ready to leave work, it's pretty much empty, so we got to refill it, and that's unsustainable. So I did run over to the O'Reillys and had them conjure up a new power steering pump for me. Yep, looks like one of them. So it's wise to do your best Sherlock Holmesing on these things before you start taking stuff apart. So I'm looking for hose connections, snout length, general orientation. It's hard to tell, but eventually we're just gonna have to pull the thing out and confirm that we think we're right, but anything obvious is worth noting right now. All right, from our initial scientological assessments using this tape measure and squinting, I think we're pretty close. So it's time to do our project within a project and clear all this crap out of the way so that we can nose this thing into the garage so that we're not laying in the dirt. Let's see if A, it'll start, and B, if it'll howl. You can hear it already. So we triple checked and the pump is pretty much bone dry. It's right here. There is, you can see we got fluid kind of hanging out everywhere. Sometimes it can be a little hard to identify because as you're going down the road, basically everything's getting blown backwards. So it may appear that your leak is further back or whatever. Now for this purpose, if you're not sure, there are leak tester kits, but usually I don't really change stuff until it gets to the point where it's quite obvious what the issue is. So I'm not gonna fill this up to show you how it was just draining out, but my leak was coming from behind the pulley on the front of the power steering pump. Now, if you're not sure, that's fine, but you should do some Sherlock Holmesing before you get in there and start buying parts for it, because I've had every kind of power steering problem I think a guy can have on an old Chevy. So sometimes it's this seal right around here where the pump goes into the reservoir. That's the situation I believe we're dealing with today. Other times, one of these power steering lines has just ruptured. Basically, it's rubbed itself raw somewhere and it's leaking out of the power steering lines. While I find power steering problems to be one of the most not fun projects to do on a Saturday afternoon, I've also had issues where the seal in the bottom of the power steering box goes bad. And I would say that's the least fun of all of them. But today, it's this. Here's the thing that's tricky about these things. The steps always have to happen to change these out. So you got to get the pulley off, you got to get the hoses off, and you've got to get the pump off the bracket, and sometimes the bracket off the engine. The thing is, the order is different for all of these. Like sometimes you need to get the pulley out in the vehicle in order to access a bolt that you need. I don't know why there's so many different arrangements, because I don't know, I have many small block Chevy cars that are pretty factory-ish, and yet just where the power steering pump goes, the nuance of the thing just makes the procedure quite different on each vehicle. So we're just gotta start somewhere and see what we can access, our best guess. According to my observations, I would like to see if I can just undo what's ever on the backside of that other one and see if it'll come right off the bracket if we undo the power steering lines. Thus, we would be able to take the whole thing out with the pulley, swap the pulley on the bench, and vice versa, leaving the bracketries in place. Very optimistic. And little brown dog is back here for moral support. So there's bolts that go to the bracket that are behind the pulley. So perhaps if we undo, does anybody know? Looking for an order of operations here, gang. So this is holding the power steering pump to the motor, and this bolt is behind the pulley. So that's not coming out without this coming off. The question is, haven't done a thing, but we're already changing course here. So I do recall when I put this engine in, I just pulled the power steering pump off to the side. So for us today, I think that's the best course of action here as well. We're gonna yank the nuts out of it. We're gonna go ahead and pull the power steering hoses because at this point it's a little easier to do when the whole thing's not all flopping around. This is one of the painful parts of a power steering pump replacement. Usually the line is right in its own darn way for a wrench, which is exactly the case here. So not only do we have to get this out, we have to save it. As these are hydraulic fittings, they are not unlike brake fittings. So when they don't turn on the end of the actual tube, basically everything just binds up. So we're in that position right now. I do need to save on this hose if I can. I might be able to get another one ordered by O'Reilly, but I have to check. Anyway, at this point, we're gonna pivot once again, try to get this thing off the block. Then I can get better eyes and hands on it to wrestle that line out. So gang, in principle, this is a reasonably simple operation, but in practice, you know, it's kind of like kiss your Saturday goodbye. It's just better if you know that going in. It's less frustrating that way. All right. She's loosey-goosey. We just gotta wrestle this upper bracket. Oh, nope, I guess we don't even have to wrestle it. That's good. So this is what we gotta get apart now. So this is the thing. You can see the adjustment on the back. All these brackets are different on different vehicles, and I don't know why. Well, apparently it wasn't completely empty. Found that out when I ran it right down into my armpit. Dang it. Yeah, there's a little bit of a, yeah, okay. Like I said, you should probably put a tray down to, you know, mitigate some of the mess you're about to make. Let's try this in a more controlled environment now. Yeah, that's nasty. Look at that. It's gross. Stuff goes in clear. I'm gonna call this flushing the system for now. So now you need a big honking wrench. In our case, this big honking wrench. Just 1 1/16". There we go. I highly recommend a line wrench because if you're gonna strip it good. All right. Damn it. Gang, that wrench fell and just annihilated, you know, that whole thing. At least I had a tray down this time though. Oh boy. Remember that thing I said about the Saturday afternoon? Here it is, in evidence. Fellas, let me tell you what, if I could drop it or spill it, I've done it twice today. To increase the degree of difficulty, I've got the shop set up as an obstacle course. Time to get this thing off. Picked up this cute little feller. It's actually a lot smaller than my other one. $100 on sale for the M18, so we're gonna try this impact driver. I bought it basically because I needed one to tote around and have one here always, because guy can spend a lot of time looking for tools. Let's see how this does. Well, hot dog. I'm impressed. All right, so I had to run out and go see my pals at O'Reilly's to pick up a pulley puller installer kit. This is specifically for power steering. It may work for other stuff, but that's what it's for. Probably works for, might work for alternator pulleys. It's a pretty simple setup. There are a lot of videos on how to use these. All I'm saying is this is not a job you want to start without one of these things. You'll be frustrated, you'll break stuff, and then eventually you're gonna go spend the $40 or whatever it is. This is a rental kit, but I'm gonna keep it because I thought I bought one, but I must have rented it and returned it. I got a lot of power steering pumps, gang. So for $40, we're gonna keep it in-house. It's pretty clear when you get into it here, but basically you flip that around. That hooks on the back side of this clamshell thing. That sleeve slides over, the other half grabs the pulley. You'll figure it out, gang. So now the trick is to hold this while turning this. Some people use an impact, you know, you do you. 13/16, 5/8. Feels like it's pulling off pretty easy. So now in reverse order, to see this disassembled, the sleeve comes off, clamshell sides come off. So one of these edges catches on the pulley, the other edge catches on this flange, and then it works like any other regular puller. So I'm not sure if I actually lost the Woodruff key for this one, but the one that's here will work just fine, so I'll pull that out. Just be aware of that, because I was not paying attention and it could be anywhere if it was ever here. So now we got to move the bracketries over because the pulley blocks these bolts. I thought that this one went all the way through. Hell, maybe it does, I don't know. But on this one, it looks like two different unity things. Let's figure it out. Honestly, I don't know what this bracket's for, but we're gonna still use it. All right. All right, so this is somewhat unusual to me because there's not a lot of travel here because this bracket hits this thing. Now, I don't know if this pump and this bracket were meant to be together. Also, this bolt in the front and this slidey McGee are what adjusts it. So, like, that's the pivot. Not really a big deal, but that one's awful hard to get to once the pulley's on. Never mind, right there hiding among the O-rings, one Woodruff key thing. Interesting. So I'm kind of surprised at how easy that was, although I am remembering back in my remembering machine that I don't know that I'm used to seeing Woodruff keys. Like, usually the shaft is tapered, and that's the necessity for the puller, like the real necessity. You got to pull it off, and I usually like sometimes you have to put the pulley on like a light bulb or something for a while to help it expand, but that was pretty easy, so that's good news. Although, I do see back there, I don't know if I can tighten that anymore. Dang it. All right, we're just gonna have to work with it because I can't reach it after the fact. So, but that pulley just pulled back off, which is pretty great. So this is a flare fitting, very similar to your brake line fittings. And it is also very similarly a pain in the butt. You gotta line this thing up, get it tight, and not cross thread it. To add a degree of difficulty and discomfort, pour power steering fluid all over before you start putting this back together. That's what I did. Just need 3 hands. Maybe I'll just try putting one of these bolts in. No, I need you to stay on there. 3 hours later. Oh, did he go that time? No. I don't know. Did I get it? Did it go? Oh my God, I think it went. All right. Well, maybe I'd do that first. Huh, there we go. Of course, I don't remember which groove the thing was in. Oh, maybe that one just wanted to go there by itself. Feels about right. It'll let me know if I'm wrong when it shreds itself into 1,000 tiny pieces. The beginning of the first moment of truth. Let's fill it up and just see if it starts pouring out somewhere. Great, just spilled some. Now we'll never know. Considering I've made a mess out of nearly everything, we'll get some mess begone in there. Moment of truth as I continue to spill things and drop things and make an absolute mess out of everything, including myself. Let's see. So we'll fire it up, see if it starts pouring fluid or makes horrible noises. No horrible noises, that's good. No major leaking from the top. Nothing major, but it does seem like we might be leaking a little bit from this fitting in the back. That's kind of expected in the sense that I don't go gorilla tight until I need to, you know, because you don't want to do that and just strip the pants right off it. All right, so I got a quarter turn out of that line fitting right there, which on a flare fitting is not insignificant. Wiping everything down because I spilled a bunch and sprayed it with brake clean. So now we'll try it again and see if we're leaking still. So far so good, gang. All right, we got to top this thing off. Always good to check the fluid, gang, after you run it for the first time. Some of that's going to go into the power steering box. In our case, we are low. All right, I think we're actually styling on this one. Only took about a half a Saturday. All right, gang, in the grand scheme of Chevy power steering pumps, this one was not that bad. And the order of operations will change depending on what vehicle you're working on. For example, sometimes you got to get the pulley off before you can even get the thing out of the car. I've had that problem too. So anyway, few hours on a Saturday, and now I don't hear that whine every time I start the car. And if you're stuck in traffic and you start to hear your power steering pump growl, it can be kind of nerve-wracking because it's only a matter of time before that pump goes dry enough to like seize up, and then you're in a world of hurt. So thanks for watching Between the Sharks. If you're into this kind of stuff, please subscribe. It's in the buttons, one down here. It's totally free. I won't send you emails. I won't call you at dinner time. Good luck on your projects, and we'll see you next time. As for me, I gotta clean up this disaster.